Well, today is deadline day for the Bloc. What they wanted to do, they wanted to bring in an increase in the old age pension for everybody in Canada, and they put it to the Liberal government that this is what they should be doing, and if they don't do it by today, then the Bloc will call a vote of no confidence. On top of the 10% increase for old age pensioners throughout Canada, the Bloc also wants to try and secure supply management systems throughout the country as well. And to do that, they have these two bills that they're trying to push through that the Liberals are basically just stalling on and ignoring. Just listen to the Bloc explaining exactly what their position is now.
The deadline was today. Calculations have been made. There were 4 million recipients in Canada for the measure that we are proposing for old age pension, and 1 million of those in Quebec. Tens of thousands of producers subject to the supply management offer. Based on what we are proposing, polls are massive, over 65% of Canadians, and associations that speak on behalf of retired and agricultural producers are actively not only coming out with statements, but have started to mobilize here in Parliament Hill to support the Bloc's demands. Despite all of this, the government has not respected today's deadline. Accordingly, a letter will be signed and will be forwarded to the leaders of all opposition parties. This is to initiate discussions so that at the first occasion, Justin Trudeau's government be reversed. This is what we said we would do, and this is what we're doing. We are staying the course and the clear expression of our proposals.
Could the Bloc bring down the Liberal government with this? So he was later asked, I'll put this on in a minute, but he was asked about the NDP. How does he convince the NDP? Actually, just listen to that now.
How are you going to convince the NDP? I don't need to convince the NDP. I'm just repeating, and we've done it publicly a few times, that the deadline for this government has passed. It's up to citizens of Canada and Quebec to create a new parliament. And I also think that we could argue that you have to realize you're harming yourself by staying on and becoming the government's vehicle. The government is in this situation. It could have made a proposal or accept a reasonable proposal by the Bloc Québécois, which is supported by the majority of Canadians and Quebecers. Or it needs to find an agreement with the NDP, which is much more to the left than what the Quebec and Canadian populations want. So it's a toxic situation. And I'm sure the NDP is aware of this.
He doesn't care about the NDP. He just cares about what the Bloc's going to vote, what Conservatives are going to vote, and he really hopes NDP vote with him. And then what about the people who are against Justin Trudeau, all the backbenchers? What if they vote? What if they vote with the Bloc? If there is a confidence motion, could the Bloc bring down the Liberal government? I know the Conservatives have been pushing and pushing and pushing, but this could be a Bloc incentive to bring down the government, set up their own little thing going on in Quebec, and negotiate with the Conservatives, because that's what he sounds like he's saying he wants to do. He wants to actually have conversations with the Conservatives about increasing the old age pension for the whole of Canada. Yeah, crazy, eh? Let's see what happens later on today. Yeah, we'll see the headlines tomorrow. I just noticed something as well. I was looking, they named 4 of the people whose names that we want. I've been trying to look on CBC and on CTV and that lot to see if there's any headlines on there. Not a mention. Not a dicky bird about it. Crazy, eh? They really are pro Justin Trudeau. 100%. Pushing his narrative. It's disgusting. No wonder Polyev wants to defund the CBC.